Hello, everyone. We're back here in the filling station studio. Marianne LeRae here, and we have two really awesome guests with us. I would like to introduce you to Chad Day and Nicole Jenkins from Veteran Services here. And I'd like to highlight the fact they're Jones County Veteran Services. So, really great to have you all in the studio today. We have had so much fun talking about the possibilities of taking the partnership to a whole new level. We've done a few things, and but I'm really excited about the coming year. Before we get to that, I'd love for y'all to introduce yourselves to those that are listening and why you chose this as a part of your career.
So, like she said, I'm Nicole, and we've done some things together in the past. And the easy answer for why we do what we do is we're both veterans. So it makes it sort of a no brainer. We're going to help veterans. That's what they do. We help each other. And so I stumbled into the job. It wasn't really on my radar, but I was listening to a commissioner's meeting November of 22, and it got mentioned. They were still looking to hire. It just sort of bubbled in my head, and I thought maybe I should see what this is all about because I didn't use a VSO when I got my benefits, but I wish I'd had one because it would have made it a whole lot easier. So going into this line of work was not a hard decision to make. Chad came on. He came on as a driver for our transportation program.
I did, yeah, and I fell into it kind of the same way. I retired from the Marine Corps after 20 plus years. Um, I was like many veterans, I needed a purpose, and took me some time to find what that might be. And I stumbled across the driver position for the transportation program and jumped right on that, and then was fortunate enough to be able to be accredited and trained, and I'm enjoying it very much.
I needed the help, and he fell right. I call him Nicole 2.0. He fell right into it.
Some new software.
Yes, I needed the help, and he was glad to jump in and do more than just drive. So while that's his priority, he does not have any idle time in the office there. He helps me with everything.
Wonderful. Now, you both live in Jones County. So how long have you been here in the county?
I have been here in the county. Well, this is my second time in the county, so it's been 8 years now. But then I lived in Maysville previously when I was still in the military, and I was there for about 6 years.
What branch of the military?
I was in the Coast Guard.
Right.
We're few and far between here in Jones County, but there are some of us. So.
Well, our board chair, Bobby Darden, his son is now serving in the Coast Guard, and we at our board meetings hear all kinds of wonderful stories. They just met him coming into Charlotte, and Charleston, I believe, is where he, and the stories that we hear are you see the news, but then you listen to a parent of a child that's in the branch
and hear it firsthand,
and you really hear what's going on
behind the scenes.
Exactly,
they have the scoop.
Exactly. So you have a family?
I do. My mother passed in 2018 from breast cancer. And my father lives in Kinston. He is out that way. And then I have a brother that lives in a Hosky. But outside of that, that's it.
Eastern North Carolina girl.
I'm married.
Yeah.
I am married. My husband's worked at Coca-Cola for 24 years now. And I have a 13-year-old son who is all boy.
Coca-Cola. Does he work with Bobby?
Yes, Bobby Lynn.
Yes.
Been there. They've both been there, I think, just as long as
they are Coca-Cola, aren't they?
Yes. You'll never get it out of their system. I asked my husband if he was going to retire anytime soon, and he said probably in another 20 years. And I thought 44 years with Coca-Cola, but okay.
Wow.
He loves it.
Wow. Love learning. Learning about folks. And Chad, I know that you're just a few doors down here from the filling station.
I am.
A neat story.
I live in Pollocksville. I moved here in 2021, right before I retired from the Marine Corps. So.
He's not homegrown, but he's a transplant.
Not homegrown, transplant. But I was stationed at Cherry Point for a time, and then I retired out of New River. I was at New River for 5 years. So.
And you're both graduates of Leadership Jones.
That's right.
So you probably have found out more about Jones County than you ever could have imagined going through that program. I know listening to the different cohorts, it's truly amazing all the different connections, all the different resources, if we'll just stop long enough to have a conversation. So, again, really great to have you all here, and thank you for sharing a little bit more. I'd love for you all to share the types of services, the population, a little bit about um, who you're serving and what you all are doing.
So roughly 10% of the population in Jones County are veterans. And then if you include their families, their dependents and their children, their spouses and caretakers, they may not be dependents, but they're, part of that community. What we provide at our office is the basic services that they're generally looking for, which is filing claims for pension or compensation, educational benefits, burial benefits, and but there's so much beyond that. When you're in a veteran field, it's one stop shopping. That's what I tell everybody. It's one stop shopping. If they're a veteran and they're looking, they have a food insecurity, they'll ask us, and we have to refer them to people in the county that can help them with that. Our basic job is to work as a middleman between the veteran and the big VA. We call them big VA. We don't make those decisions, but we try to help the veterans get the most they can out of the big VA so that, and they've earned those different entitlements. We, being a rural county, have very limited resources. And that was why the transportation program came about. It was something that I saw early on. We had veterans that weren't getting to medical appointments and counseling appointments. And just because they didn't have a neighbor or a family member that could commit to doing that. So the transportation program was something we really pushed for, which led to needing a driver because I couldn't be in two places at one time. So we brought Chad on. He can tell you a little bit more about how our transportation is working out.
Transportation program is going pretty steady. Most weeks I have 2 to 3 on average trips. It's slowing a little bit down now due to the holidays, I think.
How far do you go?
Well, I've been pretty far. I've gone to Wilmington, Little Washington, Greenville, Jacksonville, New Bern, of course, and I have made a couple of trips to Durham for a veteran that had that need. And it's been rewarding for that. You get to listen to the old sea stories and them telling lies, and so we trade lies sometimes. And getting to know their family or their spouse or their caretaker, their situation, and where they're from, and their military experience, and that's something that we look forward to in the coming years, trying to connect other veterans within the county so they can tell stories and
that's
be
another
part of
thing
the
about
community.
our transportation too. When you said their spouses and things, we allow for the spouses or the caretaker to ride with the veteran. A lot
how
of organizations
wonderful.
won't allow for that. Now we get waivers and things, but these are their caretakers that take care. It's best to have them
absolutely
with them at all times. And so that's something we realized that may not be offered in other areas and other types of transportation, but it was important to offer it here.
Yeah.
So we made sure.
Well, Jones County, as we have found out, we are really set apart.
Yes,
in so many ways, and we really can customize things for the community that bigger places are not able to do. What would you say probably one of your biggest challenges right now within your program, besides resources? I'm sure we can all, which is the reason partnerships are so critical.
Yes, getting those connections.
But taking it a step further, what would be?
Well, support and it's hard, and it kind of goes hand in hand with the resources. If you can get the resources, you get the support. But getting support, not just from resources who are used to doing that, but from the community as a whole. People feed off of other people's positivity. And, if a veteran is a shut-in or just elderly or they've lost someone in their family, they need someone to reach out to them, whether they are a veteran or not. So getting the support. Now, when I say support, politically, our leaders in the county do an outstanding job of supporting everything I ask for. I mean, we couldn't ask for a better support system when it comes from the top down.
Yeah.
They really,
We're very blessed.
yes, they
Yes.
really have stepped up. And just with the transportation program, the question was asked naturally. We're talking budget stuff.
Yeah.
They wanted to know if other VSO offices did that. And I said, no, but we're going to set the bar. It's what
Wonderful.
we have to do here
Right.
because we're different. We're rural.
Exactly.
We're surrounded
Yeah.
by 5 counties that have it.
Right.
But they don't come to Jones to take people where they need to go. So I said, we just have to set the bar. We've got to do it. And so they stepped right up, and we have transportation for veterans now. So they've been very supportive. But we need community support. When we have our veteran events, veterans will show up. They'll show up to veteran events. But we need civilians. If you want to separate the divide there, the civilians need to come out and be a part of what the veterans are.
Okay.
Need to meet them where they're at.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about how to get that buy-in. And there's nothing, you mentioned it a few minutes ago about the stories. There's nothing like a good story.
And I think the other part of our job is to advocate for veterans to the community and to our other partners and nonprofits, as well as the political leadership in the county, is to speak for them when they don't have a voice.
Right. And I'm thinking about positional where we are in Eastern North Carolina. Here we are, Jones County, and we're sitting right in the middle of Cherry Point, Camp Lejeune, Seymour Johnson, Oak Grove Air Base, right? And New River.
Yep,
so
right
all of these places are protecting us. Now we hear some maneuvers going on late at night, but it's the sound of freedom. But that is a tremendous economic engine that is happening around us that we benefit from, even if we're not a veteran or our families have not been veterans. So just by that, we are all connected. And so what I'm hearing you all say is the awareness of what is going on with the veterans, what they have done for this country, and what we need to, the type of support that they need from us, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
They need more resources.
Yeah.
They need more community involvement, volunteer opportunities. Veterans have a volunteer nature. They just sometimes don't know where to go or when to go.
Well, we had a veteran come here and do a tremendous project for us. We had a building that was built in the 40s that was here on our campus, and it needed to be taken down, and we had it quoted out. And we found this gentleman says, if I can have the material, I'll take it down for you. It was the most amazing thing to watch this gentleman strategically take this building down. And you could tell that he was using all of his experience and wisdom from serving our country in taking that building down.
And that's what I was going to say. So working with his hands, he had a purpose. Taking it down meticulously, his attention to detail. It's a lot of things that are just ingrained in veterans once they've served.
Right.
And it is so beneficial to every part of the community, whether it's something like taking down the building or helping build a handicap ramp or even just serving here at the filling station. They need that purpose. And, but a lot of times they just don't know where to go or when to go. So
and
getting that word
they
out.
want to feel useful again. Like
Absolutely.
that what they do means something.
So it's in the nature of a veteran. It really is. I mean, you won't find one that says, no, I can't help you. So they just are always willing and ready. So it's just bringing everyone together.
I went to your office, which is located right behind the sheriff's department. It used to be in Trenton, but now you've got a new location and you've got some additional space that's been freed up. And just listening to you and Chad talk about what you all do for veterans day in and day out, was truly amazing. So I invite anybody watching this, you need to make an appointment to go visit with you all to find out, because the more that the community is aware of what's going on, the quicker that we can connect those resources. And I remember you saying something that when people are getting out of the military, they just don't want to do a lot of paperwork. They just want to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all's goal is to make sure that you get those benefits connected quicker and faster, because creating the paper trail of 20 and 30 years is a whole lot harder to get those benefits if they'll
Yes.
go ahead and
we joke sometimes in the office, it'd be great if we were standing at the gate when they get out and grab them and say, here's my card, you need to come see me ASAP.
Yeah.
Because we have so many that come in that are over the age of 70 who are just now tapping into these benefits. And you're right, tracking down records from, 30, 40 years ago, it's a task,
Yeah.
But I tell everyone when they come in for the first time, especially some of the younger ones that are come out, I'm like, welcome. We're going to have a long relationship because it starts early. And then as life goes on and things change, seasons change and things happen. They either have kids or their kids go to college. So now they're tapping into a resource they didn't initially need, but they do now.
Right.
They get older and they need extra medical care, home care. Now they're to that point, so it's a long-term relationship. It's just some of them wait too long for that to start.
And a lot of it is that generation, especially the Vietnam era. They don't feel like they rate anything. So these are earned benefits and entitlements that they've earned and that they deserve. And so, but they wait until sometimes it's not too late, but till something happens, and then we're in crisis mode. And they need to come sooner rather than later.
And if they're in doubt as to their benefits, whether they qualify or whether it's
just
something,
call.
Call, make an appointment. We'll get you in there. And the worst we can say is no, that you don't qualify for that. But if you don't ask,
well, after my conversation and going over to your office, it has given me so much more confidence in being able to receive phone calls here at the filling station, having conversations with the clients here at the food pantry, conversations at church, at town board meetings. Just being able to have you called the veterans office. So it really, the more conversations we have, the better served that our veteran population will be. So there are so many wonderful things that are coming up in 2026. I know a lot of us are working on our calendars, and those of us in leadership and responsible for programming, we want to make sure these things are in place before Christmas, right?
Yes.
So that's what we're all doing right now, is making
Working
sure.
on
But
next year's calendar.
yeah, we've been having some chats about how we can partner more intentionally with the veterans services. So, what do you have on your mind for 2026?
We're going to hit the road running for 2026. A big initiative is bridging that gap between resources, community, just as a whole. Wherever the gap is, we need to fill it. We're going to have just small coffee gatherings, coffee and connections. It's going to be a monthly thing. Our January one is going to be at our office, but then moving into the rest of the year, we're looking for people who want to host it or sponsor it. We want to be able to take veterans. It's easy to get them to our office, but we want to get them out to other churches and the filling station and the farmer's market, anywhere that we can get them, take them to that environment so that the community can interact with them. We always have our big annual programs, which is our Memorial Day program. We started a stand down event last July, and that was really well received. So we're going to do it again this July. And then we always have a Veterans Day event.
Absolutely.
I'm excited that this coming year we're actually going to host a potluck Thanksgiving at the Civic Center. So that's something new we're adding to our table for 2026. So we're really looking at trying to get the community all involved and bring the veterans and everyone together. As far as politically, I guess would be the right way to put it, we're really trying to get a Veterans to Farmers program in the county. It's the perfect place for it.
Sure.
The people that are looking to do that, they want to come here because of the three bases in Oak Grove. It was a perfect place for them to do that. And we're an agricultural county. So, I mean, it only makes sense. And then, housing is always an issue. That's not just a veteran thing. That's countywide. So we're trying to get on board with, what can we do to help with housing? We don't like to have homeless veterans, but when we do, where are we going to put them?
Right.
They've got to have somewhere to go. And most of the time, they don't want to leave home. This is their county. This is their home, and they don't want to go to New Bern or Onslow. They want to stay close to home. So there's several things that of course, the transportation program. We're going to continue to grow that.
Yeah,
possibly get another vehicle. So
y'all have such a great foundation set. You really do. You all have worked really hard. You came on in 2022,
very end.
and it's not really doubling your output with the two of you there. It's really multiplying it. That's what I have found. So,
and we'll continue to grow because
you will.
We have a workload that you could have a third person. But if he takes on too much of a workload in the office, I've got to have another driver because now he's going to be doing double duty, but we've got to make sure that it's covered. So I mean, I see our department growing each year. I really do. I mean, just in programs and in staff.
Well, with the 250th birthday celebration for the United States of America, we have a lot to be celebrating.
Yes.
And I know y'all will be very much a part of leading that next year here in Jones County. I hear there are a lot of organizations that already have things planned. So I would recommend always listening to the county commissioner meeting, going to your town board meetings, getting involved and having conversations. This is why we're doing this, these interviews, is to make sure that what's happening in your community and where it's happening. I remember moving back 25 years ago and talking to my aunt, and I said, I am amazed at how much is going on in Jones County. She said, if you can't find something to do, you're not looking. So have any last thoughts before we close up this conversation?
If you want to volunteer for one of our future events, please give us a call so we can get your information. And
what's that number, Chad?
It is 252-448-1121.
And your website? You just go Jones County NC.
If you go to the Jones County website, there's a veteran tab that'll take you directly to our page. And please like and follow us on Facebook. We're trying to increase our viewership on that as well, and our communications with those.
And your office is by appointment only, is that correct?
Currently, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
we are going to be starting in the new year and a newsletter quarterly.
Perfect.
And then people may start getting phone calls and text messages. We're moving up in the world, and we're going to have those robocalls, but hopefully they'll be well received because it's going to be information that we think they need to know and want to know about. So
wonderful.
So we're looking forward to bringing new things into our office and out into the community.
Well, it's great to have you all a part of the Jones County leadership. And thank you for taking the time in a very, very busy schedule to be here. I want to remind our audience that December 16th, which is next Tuesday, we will have a special workshop from Cardinal Hospice, Getting Through the Holidays. And so, holidays are not necessarily a wonderful time for a lot of folks. And so it's a time to come together and support each other, encourage each other, lift each other up. And so thank you again for joining us for this episode. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.